So, did he survive?
He busted through the walls for us, and we still had to smash our way through, but I'm not sure. He was buried beneath all the rubble.
A brave diesel and a good friend. He'll always be remembered for that.
Indeed. A hero, above all things.
Good news, everyone. Boko is a tad singed, I must say, but he's going to be fine. His crew is alive and well. Thankfully, the rubble shielded them from most of the flames, and we put the fire out just in time.
Good news at last. But what about Arthur, James, and Paxton?
A little red tank engine was near a nasty fuel explosion, but he's fine. Melted his buffers a bit, but he's smiling about it. They're all safe. We just found a little blue diesel as well, who hadn't the slightest idea of where he was.
That's Sydney. Is he all right?
Once again, he'll need some mending, but he's all right. Kind of admire him, really. This tragedy literally had no effect on him at all.
Do you even know who I am? I am Mr. Walter Sliggs, the most handsome and overly talented oil tycoon on the premises.
I can see the concern of your investment is equally proportionate to the amount of lives compromised today.
My investment is what brought that refinery here in the first place, right where that military psychopath burned everything to the ground. Can't tell you how many hippies I had to get rid of just so I could build it over that wildlife sanctuary.
No, actually, I won't. And this is a matter you can take with the Ministry of Defense. There's nothing left for me here, that's for
I
sure.
couldn't care less about that. Millions! I'm talking millions here. You will regret this. Now, if you excuse me, I'm off to go have a narwhal fillet steak.
Dare I ask for a body count?
It's not pleasant to hear. It hasn't been calculated yet. You certainly have a lot of metal for going back. That tank engine, Arthur, had broken into the loading area against regulations to stop Zen from causing this blasted catastrophe.
Bless his smokebox, but what about the men? Civilians?
We'll tend to them the best we can, and extinguish what's left of the flames. This city, it's all just kindling now.
I'm at your disposal, sir, if you need an eye from the sky.
Thank you, Harold. You've been simply marvellous. We owe everything to you. You look upset, however.
Oh, when you've lived a life dedicated to rescue, I still get a bit choked up by all the casualties.
Bless you, Harold. You did everything you could. Go inspect the skies and see if you can find anyone else who's in need of assistance.
Thank you, sir.
Now, General, it appears you're being stripped of your rank and effectively discharged for your fine performance this evening.
If I was the man I was yesterday, I would lash out at your insolence, but you've saved my life, and many others, simply through...
Common sense. It does wonders. Fire is dangerous, my friend, and if you blindly follow orders and don't use reason, it will consume you. As you can see, it destroys everything in its path. It cannot be undone. It's the reason many lives were lost today. I hope you realize that...
So, I suppose the reason I'd asked you here today was so I could kill you.
I understand that, yes.
No loose ends. I've had a nosy controller meddling with my affairs for far too long. The last thing I need is a military twit with a moral compass.
Strange. You spoke so highly of my decision, in the letter, I mean, that I left the service and you admired that. Of course, this wasn't the lunch exchange of war stories I was expecting.
I do admire you. You're not fazed by much. Headstrong, composed, fearless. It's a pity such admirable people must exist in an exponentially less than admirable world.
You want to change the world?
Fire has a remarkable tendency of doing that. The existing order can no longer survive, and I will see to it that it burns to the very last ember.
Who are you?
Sir Frederick Aura.
You were knighted? I highly doubt that.
I'm a very complicated person, and some things must remain history. keeping you alive compromises my vision. Although General Zen was thoroughly irresponsible, he was not the cause of that fire. The fact that you saw me at the complex only secured your demise. I'm what they call a grim messenger of doom.
If he wasn't so badly wounded, the general probably would have been imprisoned. Sure, he was reckless, but you framed him, not to mention all the lives that were lost in this dreadful scheme.
Ah, yes. And those blasted enterprising engines. Industrious, spineless, worthless artifacts.
What do they have to do with this? They're railway. You discount all of their bravery and selflessness. You started the fire that tested the spirit of those engines, and they all stood tall and looked out for one another. You may have won the battle, but you haven't won the war.
I didn't expect to. I had only just waged it. If anything, it's the first clash of blades. I've only been sparring, seeing what my adversary is capable of, and once I get my eyes on a golden opportunity, I'll seize it. The end is only beginning, Captain. Soda will never be the same. It was a pleasure doing business with you.
He's stabilized. A few broken birds, some minor burns, but he'll be fine. Nothing we can't handle. He's still in a bit of shock, but I think... Oh, he's waking up! Hello there. Apparently you have a visitor.